Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. Today we're going to be making a journal, and I thought journaling is something that I haven't done a lot of. I haven't made a lot of journals, but I'm getting into it more now because I actually really enjoy the process. But I always find filling them, once you've made the basis, is the thing that I struggle with, how to get it looking pretty. So I thought I would show you this quick one that I did. I've stitched it, but you can glue it. And I just wanted to show you how you can turn round and make the pages look really pretty. I've got lots of little tuck spots. In fact, every single page has got a tuck spot with lots of little tiny things in there. Journaling spaces. Again, little things at the front and the back, all sorts of tuck spots and things. How to make it look pretty when you have used... So again, some slanting pockets, some little corner pockets, some journaling space. I can fill it with more things, which I will probably do, but I just wanted to show you how simple it is to make one and to fill it when you're using just all sorts of ordinary papers. It doesn't matter what paper you start the journal with because you cover the majority of it. So for example, if you can sort of see the outside, that's got sort of green on it, that's got bright red on it. Some of these ones are bright red. They are literally just odd pieces that I had left over, but I have made sure that it all coordinates and looks similar. And then there's a tuck spot at the back on this one. Now, this journal, really easy to do. All I did was cut this at, I think it's about, as long as you have a 12 by 12 paper. So this one was, I take it out like this, when that was folded out into 3, it was 12 by 12. And then I just scored it down at 4 inches. And at 8 inches. So this was supposed to fold over at the top, but when I came to put it together like this, I've just moved a little bit out. When I came to stitch this piece in, so I've stitched the center piece, I wasn't completely straight. So you can see that's where it should have been, and I did it slightly off. So it meant that when I tried to fold this piece over, it wasn't going to fold and wasn't going to look good, but I still managed to work on it. So I thought, and then I've just tied it with some sari silk. Now, these sari ribbons, as they're called, I get them from Oxfam. They do beautiful sari ribbon, and you can buy a whole bundle of it for £6.99, and it's perfect for just taking a multitude of different colours, so you can mix your colours to whatever you're doing, but it makes a really nice tie, and because it's sari, it's really soft. So put this to one side. I'm going to show you the one that we are going to work with. So this is 12 inches long, so you need a piece of card which is 12 inches. And then this is, I think this is, let me get my measure on here. Okay, by 6 inches. So 12 inches by 6 inches. And then what you need to do is you need to score it at 4 inches and 8 inches. And then you need to score again 1/8 of an inch. So score it at 8 inches and then 8 1/8 inch. So just 1 inch to get that sort of fold. And on this side as well, you want it at 4 inches and then one before the 4 inches at 1/8 of an inch. So what happens is that when you fold it like this, it will fold in nicely, and you've got just a little bit here that you can, when you add your signature as such, you can put it in. Now, I've stitched this, you don't need to, and I've done a piece of thin paper and a piece of thicker paper. If you've got thick paper, you don't need to do the other stage. And if you want to put something on this side, just glue it. Now, I've taken the pages, literally are 4 inches and 4 inches, so 8 inches across by 6 inches down. And I've literally just folded them in half. So the large pieces are going to be 8 inches by 6 inches, folded in half at 4 inches. And then the little pieces like this are what was left over, and I've just sort of slotted them in like that. So you can see the paper is all sorts of different pieces that I've got left over. So this was the piece that went in on the end of there. This piece was just a piece that was left over from here, I think. Yes. And this piece was the piece that was that I had a little piece on here. So that was the piece that was left over. So all you do is you stack your paper together, because this is the really bit, you don't need to have a tutorial for this because it's so simple. You literally put your papers together, make sure that you've creased them well, and then in whichever one you want. So I've done it in the first one. You just put it down like this, and you can sew your signature. Which is what I've done. I've just sewn it right the way from the top to the bottom. You can do a proper signature, so a book pole one where you do your 3 holes and then you come in and do it that way. If you don't like doing that, you can staple it with a long stapler. If you don't like that, you can put an elastic hairband through on here and just have them in with a hairband. So lots of options, but that then gives you your basis. But this is where I would struggle in filling it. So we're going to do the filling stage. Now, I've done a little bit of preparation, but not a lot. So you can see my process as I go. I've taken some little journaling cards that I'm going to put on top. I've cut a few little pieces that I'm going to have as pockets, but we're going to do different types of pockets. And I've cut some papers down into, I wanted them to go across like this, but I don't want them to go right to the edge. So I want a little border. So these were cut at 1/4 of an inch smaller than my sheet. So this sheet is 6 inches by 4 inches. And I've cut this at 1/2 an inch smaller, actually. I've cut this at 5.5 by 3.5. So that then fits in like that. So we can then start to sort of just build up the pages and things. I want to do something in the front, I think. So let's start with this front one. And I might just have a little piece like that in there, I think. Okay, so I just literally, it is going to take a while, so be prepared to, you know, you can pause the video and come back to it, but it is going to take a little bit of time. Now, I have run out of I turned around and said that I really liked using the indigo blue Slap It On. So what I've done is, this bottle was finished, but I wanted a fine tip, so I've just filled this up with Slap It On. So we can put this in on here like that, and you can cover the stitches or not cover the stitches as you want. I'm going to keep some of them are going to be covered. So we're going to put that in on here, and then I actually quite like that piece. That's from something else that I had on there. Now I can put that way for a pocket, or I can put it that way. I'm going to have it this way, I think. Okay, so I'm literally just going to glue down the edge. So you want to glue just down as near to the edge as you can. Like that. and then you can put that in down at the bottom. So that will do the first one. Like that. So we've got that on there and that on there. And then I want to put something in on here. So I've got lots of little pieces in on here, and I can just sort of pick up something that I've got. So I've got a little pile of these, and we can see what might work. So that might work actually. It's quite pretty and plain, isn't it? Let's go for that. And the thing is, don't think about it too much. Now, if I wanted to have, I've got some of these little scrappy pieces. What about if I put a little piece of this in? So let's put that, shall we put that at the top? It's not quite big enough, but it'll work, I think. Or I've got some of this. This is just, I might use some of the white actually. I've got quite a lot of white. Shall I use this white one to go in on the top? That's quite nice, isn't it? So let's take it down to there. I'm just going to cut that off. So this is where you get all of your little scrappy pieces and things. Now, you could use a bit of ribbon if you wanted. I just happen to have this. It's not the sort of thing that I would normally use, but it's great to just bob in a journal like this. Put that down that way. It's just a bit, should be okay on there. That's probably just over the edge, so I can just cut that off like that. Sure I don't get it stuck to my scissors. And then let's pop this one in on here like that. That adds a little bit more, doesn't it? And you don't have to put too much on, but you can put as much as you want. So for this, I'm not putting too much on here. And because it's a circle one, and because this is the sort of the front cover part, I'm not going to put too much. I'm not going to have a tuck spot in on here. So that's just going to go straight in like that. There we go. And then we can put some little pieces in on here. So let's have a look and see what I've got. I've got some, let's just put, I'm not even looking to see what they are at the moment. I'm just going to have a little card in like that to start off with. Okay, page 2. So we've got those sorts of colours there. Let me have a look and see what I want. Do I want it dark? I don't think I want it that dark actually. I think I might have, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Let's have that one. Okay, so we're going to have this one on here. That's going to go at the top. And then I'm going to have, I think I'm going to have just a tuck spot like that there. Because I've got one going straight across. You want to try and make sure that it looks a bit different on each one. So you don't want it looking the same. So if you've got a flat tuck spot that goes all the way across like this one, you don't necessarily want another flat one. So with this, I'm literally just going to put this one in on here. And again, you've just got a little bit, you can fill it more if you want to, but I quite like a little bit of the edge coming through. I don't like a huge amount of the edge coming through, but I don't mind a little bit. So I think I'm going to put this one in on here like that. And I need to have something on here, and I want to have something that's going to give, that's too big. I want something that's going to give me a little tuck spot in on here. So actually, what about, do I put, no. I want something that's a little bit sort of square that I can just tuck in at the bottom. So let's have a look at my pieces here and see what I've got that I can put in on here. So I want a little sort of square one, but something that's not too big. So I'm just going through on here a bit. Could I have one that says cash book? That will work actually, won't it? Will that work in on here, or is that a bit busy to go on there? I think it might be a bit busy actually. What about that one? That's better. Can you see how automatically you just look at something and you go, oh, yes, no, that works. Okay, so we want this in this corner. So we want to glue that edge and that edge. So let me pick this up, turn it, make sure that I'm gluing that one and that one, because that's the thing, you need to make sure that you're gluing your right pieces, because this you only want to glue 2 pieces. So you're literally just gluing one corner and the other, and then that goes down in on the corner like that. Okay, just make sure that I glue this in like that. Okay, now this one again, I am just going to glue it in on that corner and that corner. So this corner and that corner, because then that gives me another tuck spot. So this corner, because it's the tuck spots that give you the interest, and you want things that give you a little bit of interest. So you can see just a little bit of glue down on there. We can pop this one in like that. Tuck that one in like that, and then we've got a big tuck spot like this. So let me have a look and see what I've got. I've got some pieces that let me just go through on here. Here we go. Now these are some of the pieces that were cut off, so I can just take some of these ones and we can put them in. So I want something that's a bit dark on here. So what about this one? That can just go in like that. And I'm just filling it with odd bits and pieces at the moment. We can have more if we want at a later stage. What else have I got? That's quite nice as well, isn't it? Let's put another one like that. And you see that gives you journaling at the back. So I'm just going to put those 2 in there for now. So that gives that. And I want a little something to go in on there. So what have I got that's little? Now I've got some of these which are quite fun. Let me see, have I got my little ones? They should be about. Here we go. So these are little mini playing cards, which I think are quite fun, and they're quite nice to just stick in. So I'm just going to take a couple of them. But again, you know, use little bits and pieces that you've got, little bits of papers and things that you've got pretty bits on and stuff. So this, I can just tuck that in like that, and probably tuck that one in like that. Okay, so that's given us interest on those 2 pages straight away. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, so we've got these 2 sides, and I think I'm going to do one with a floral paper actually. Should we do that with a floral paper? That would be quite nice, won't it? And then, so if I'm doing floral on one side, I could do dark on the other, couldn't I? So let's put that on there, that on there. Now, what I might do, I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to have on here, I'm going to do it slightly differently. So I want this to have a bit of journaling on there. So I haven't torn down this side, so I just need to tear on here. Now, when you've done your torn edges like that, you can leave it exactly like it is, or if you want it to look a little bit sort of aged paper, to do it quickly, excuse me while I get some ink out. So I've just got soft suede here. You can use whatever colour you want really. So I'm just taking this on the brush because it's big, and then all I need to do is to just do this down here. You don't need to do a lot. you're just giving a little bit to just sort of distress it down a bit. Okay, and then that can go up this way or up that way I think. And I'm just going to literally put that straight in over the top, because that gives us a little bit of sort of journaling space. So let's go in through on here. And as I say, I hope you'll find this useful, because I must admit that when I started trying to do journals, there's loads and loads of tutorials and things online that show you how to make the basics, but then don't spend a huge amount of time. Do I want it in that? No, it is that way. Showing you how to fill them. And I find those are the ideas that I struggle with sometimes. You know, I go, oh, it doesn't really all come together. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I want to have this coming down at an angle. So I want to, let's just get my trimmer out, and if I'm lucky I might be able to get 2 out of this. So I'm just going to take this down from this edge here down to wherever I happen to want. So I want it to the top there, and we'll take it down about like that, because I'm not sure distance wise how much of the paper I've cut. So let's just put this like this. So that's our journaling piece, and then we can put this, that'll work, just down like that, and that gives us a nice sort of pocket to just pop something in like that. So we want that edge and that edge done. So just get the glue. And as I say, if you use a fairly fine tip, it means that you can just pop it in. And I'm going to take it up. Am I going to take it up like that? Yes, I am. So I'm having it as a complete little pocket. And then I can put that one in like this. And just put that in like that. Okay, so that's got my edge in like that, and I've got this one which I could balance up and do on there. I'm going to save that and put that on another one, but this I can again fill relatively easily with just some, that will work. I need to just take a little piece off the bottom of this, and I'm just filling it with little pieces of the papers that are over to do for like little journaling cards and spots and things like that. But you can always add more things, because the idea of these sorts of journals is that you can give them to people. I want something on here. I'm going to do this one as well while I'm at it, and then this one is going to have just a little tuck spot on, I think. It just is working what you've got and just bringing it all together sort of page by page. And as I say, that's where I struggled. I was trying to put pieces straight on here and my papers didn't all match. So this allows you to match your papers as you're working through and adding your layers and textures and things. Okay, so I could have, that will work quite well, won't it? That's a ticket thing. So this is just 2 inches by 3 3¾ 3 7/8, 3 7/8, I think. I try and do it just a little bit lower, and then I can put this in like, hold on, that's there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 this way up. So that's going to go there. It's going to go there. That's going to come down on the bottom like that. And then we can put that one in just down on the bottom like that. Just glue that in. And then we can put something in on here. So what have I got that can go in on there? I quite like that actually, but that doesn't really go with the blues, does it? So you want to sort of tone things in together. I like these as well. I might have some of these. So these are my larger playing cards. And you could actually use real playing cards if you wanted to. I just happen to have these ones, which are just sort of smaller ones. So I want on here, let's just cut these ones out. Don't know whether I want two in there, but I might have one. That's quite nice, isn't it? And I want something to go behind a little bit. What else have I got? I've got lots of these pieces, haven't I? So I want something paler this time. Now what I could do is, because we've got that there, have a little piece behind there that would tie in with that. That will work, won't it? So, and in fact what I could do is I could have it as a little booklet. That will make it a bit small on that one, but I might do it on one of the smaller ones. So this, I'm literally just going to cut a little bit off the bottom again, just so it fits in without it being hanging over the edge. And that can then just be tucked in behind. And you can see how that just brings it together. Now I want a little something on here, and I want something on here as well. So let's go through to my little pile of little things. So what about, no, that's too big. Would that go there? That might go there. I'm not overly impressed with that. That's a bit better, but I need to put something in the center of that, don't I? Or I could leave it for somebody to put what they wanted on there. I want them to sort of match a little bit. That's still a bit. I want something quite small in there, I think. So I think those are a bit big. So let's take these little ones. So what have I got with these? These are tiny little pieces. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? What does that say? Balsamic something or other mixture. I could put a little R in the centre of there. No. So you can see what I mean by just, you look at things and you try and get things that work. Oh, now these I quite like. These are, that will work. And we'll have one on that side. They are cigar wrappers. I had no idea about these things, but they were given to me in a Christmas, and I think this is a stickable one. Pretty sure it is. Yes, it is. All of these were given to me in, fantastic idea, an advent, a crafter's advent. So little pouches, and I might actually do one this year because they were so much fun to receive. You literally, in your 24 days advent, inside each little pocket you put some crafty loveliness. So it can be all sorts of things, and I received these absolutely lovely from one of my subscribers who, as I say, has now become quite a friend, and we email each other and keep up to date with various bits and pieces, particularly over the winter months. The summer months are more spending time with family and things like that, but as I say, it's been really lovely. So I missed that little bit on there, didn't I? So as I say, that's worked beautifully. Okay, so that will tie in on here. That will just tie in like that. Okay, so we've got those two that then tie in together. So that's that page. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, now we've got a little one here. Now let's, I need to get my ruler to see what size it is, because I have no idea what size it is. It is just, so 3 inches by, can't even see what that is with my lights. 3 inches by 4 inches. Yeah, 3 by 4. So I need something that's going to be 2.5 by 3 3/4. 2.5? No, 3. 3 by 3 3/4, I think will work. So what have I got to go on here? Let's take the paper to go on this one first. Oh, and we've got 3 on here, haven't we? Have I used this one yet? No, I haven't. So we'll have a dark one there, because that goes with the yellow quite well. We'll have, I quite like that to go with that, because that will go with that pink quite nicely. And then on this side, I need to just get a little piece. So I've got quite a few of these strips that can go in, and I'm going to take one of those. So let me get the pile. These were the bits that I just cut off the edge, and I want something that's going to be that sort of thing. So we'll have that there as a side piece, I think. And yes, well, let's take that by that to start off with. So that I'm going to have down here, and I think I'm going to have a side pocket on there. So that's got to come up to just fold it so it's easier to just cut it across like that. Okay, so I'm going to take this one and just cut that way. Where that is, about there. And this piece we'll use as a little tuck. So we'll have that in on here, that way. And then I need to have, I'm going to have a little strip down here. Will that work as a tuck? Yes, that will, won't it? It's going to come, it's going to have to be halfway through a card, which is a little bit frustrating. So I might use something else. I don't really want to be cutting into those too much. What else have I got as a strip? I just need a little strip that size. So have I got something that can go in on there while I'm looking at it? Let's have we could tie it in together actually, couldn't we? Is it worth tying this in together? No. Ah, now I've just seen something that I might like. Now where did I put this? I've got these, which are some numbers. Now that will work nicely, won't we? Numbers on there, numbers on there. That can come down to there, and I can have it. It's still going to come sort of half across, isn't it? Does that come? That's better. So I can take that so that it just comes to where the 7 is. I don't really want to cut into them, you see. So I'm going to take this just straight across there. Like that, and then that can come there as a tuck spot. Okay, right, now we're working. So this is going to come in on here. Can you see how you can just sort of the thought process happens as you work with it? So, you know, do a couple of pages at a time, see what sort of ties in together, and then work it that way. And this is how I've found tying things in together works best for me. And you know, I'm no expert. Don't ever assume that I am on this. This is one of the first complete journals and things that I've done. But you know, I've been doing journals over the last, oh, I don't know, 5 years, but I've never really been pleased with what I've done, because I was trying to get all the papers to match first time round, and then I never had enough, and I didn't get it all working as it should do. Whereas doing it this way, I found works really well. Okay, so this is going to be our little tuck spot that way. So I just need to do this, and that side, these sides, and then that's going to tuck in there, and then we've got something that just comes out at the side. So each one is different. Now, I'm not doing, this is a very simple one, which is all about tuck spots. But I think that that can make a really nice little journal. So we'll put this on here, right up to the edge, like that. Make sure I don't get glue on the other side, because then I'm not going to be able to, that page will stick down. Okay, are we going to have this in on here, or do we want something a little bit brighter? I think I'm going to go for that. I think that'll work. So we want this side and that side on this one. So make sure you always sort of double check what side you're going to have your little tuck spot in, because if you don't, you end up putting it in the wrong place. So that can come down there. Let's glue that on there, that on there. So that's that one and that one. Now we want things to go on this one. So let me have a look and see what I've got in on here. So these are my slightly larger ones. That's going to go in as a little tuck thing on there, isn't it? Now, this I think is a bit big, but I could take it off slightly. It's a bit dark. I don't quite like that quite so much. Oh, I've got another little one like that. What about that one? Nope. I just walk my way through of things. Oh, that might be quite nice. No, it's too big. That's too big. It's going to be a nice one. I keep looking at this cash book, don't I? I might have the cash book on here, actually. I am. I'll put that back down there, so I've got them in the same place. Okay, so I'm going to tuck that. I'm going to have that. Is that a... I bet it's a stickable one, isn't it? Which means I can't have another tuck spot in on there. Yes, it is. Some of them are stickers and some of them are... So I can't really do a tuck spot on this, but that's fine. We don't have to have tuck spots on each one. Just get that out. I just happen to like that wording on there. It says me, who's just stuck that piece down. Don't want that stuck down, do I? Pull that back. There we go. Okay, so that can just come in. So I can stick that straight in on the centre like that. No, I'm going to stick it down like that. And then I'm going to take, I've got this little bit of white, haven't I, that I was going to do on different things. We'll have 2 of those, I think. And then that gives us a little bit of interest as well. So I'll take that out and pop this one in. Make sure that that doesn't, no, it doesn't matter because it's, oh, that's a tuck spot, isn't it? So I need to make sure that I don't take that over that edge. That can come to there and that can go like that. That's fine. Okay, that's quite pretty. A little bit twee, but it'll do. It'll do. So what are we going to have in on here? I want some longer pieces, don't I? Oh, that's quite a big. Is that too big? It's a little bit big, isn't it? Let's take some of these ones. We haven't used any of these for a little while. So let's put one in like that. And we'll have a piece of, oh, this can go in on that side. Let's put a darker one in on this side. Like that. Put it that way. Okay, and then I want a piece that's longer, one of these pieces, which I quite like, and I'm going to have that with one of these. So that needs to come down to about there. And this is where, you know, it doesn't have to be overly accurate, but you can just take it down to where you think's about right. So that gives us a little bit that's bigger on there. So we can put that in like that. That in like that. We could put this one in that side, couldn't we? You see how you can sort of build things up. I'm not going to put too much in at the moment. So that comes there. This was going to go on here, wasn't it? Because we quite like the look of that, because that's against the pink. So, and it looked good from the other side of there. So we're going to put this in on here. But you can see it does take a while. So I need to just sort of see how long it will take, but I'm not going to edit it or anything. I'm just going to put it up as it is. So, you know, watch what you want. And, you know, you don't have to. I quite like that one, actually. That's quite nice, isn't it? So let's take that down to, it's going to have to come to about there. And again, this is where you know, I'm not even measuring now. I'm just going through with some of the pieces. I know that they are roughly the right size. Oh, you'll have to excuse if you can hear the rain. It's just started hammering it down again. It's just such awful weather at the moment. It really is. Take a piece off like that. And that I'm going to put just in on there. So let's take this one. I've got a bit of a curl on the bottom of that piece. Hopefully it'll go down a little bit. So let's put that in like that. Whoops. To make sure that it's not. There we go. Literally, is that over the top of there? No, it's not. We're fine. Okay, now I want to have a little thing on here. Now, have I got? I quite like. Now, what I could do is to just have a little tiny piece. I don't want anything too big, actually. I want a tiny little piece to just go along the bottom. So we're not doing a lot on this one. Let's have a look and see if I've got any pieces that are. That's going to work. I know it's a bit big, but so I am going to have to measure this. What did I do with my ruler? It's probably underneath here. And this is the thing, when you start doing lots of bits of crafting and stuff, you end up finding that you are. I'm going to have to do it with this old ruler, which is fine. But so that's going to come to. It's 3. It's about 3, just over 3 and 3¼ I think. We'll try with 3¼ so I'm just going to take it off from here though, so I want just a little bit. I don't want too much on here. I don't even think I want 2 inches. I think I want about 1.5 inches. Let's do 1.5 inches to there. Shove it straight. Okay. That's going to be fine. And then we're going to take this to, what did I have it? About 3¼ I reckoned. Might need to be just a little bit more. Let's have a look and see. Does that fit there? That's perfect. Okay, so that's going to give me my little tuck spot down on there. And then why don't could I do the tuck spot down that side? Don't think that really goes with that, does it? Make sure I've got some glue on there. That's going to go there. So let's just take this in. We're going to have it on 4. Like a little pocket. Come on. Like that. And then that can go in just down on there. Like that. And then I just want to make sure it's glued in first, and you know, allow your glue and stuff to dry. I'm just trying to sort of show you the idea. So that can go straight in there. That looks nice like that. That I think I've missed a little bit of, it'll be all right. So pocket on this side. What are we going to do? Oh, I've got a bit of music, haven't I? Do I want music on there? No, because that's not going to go with this. Oh, need to make sure I hold that for a minute to glue that on there. What are we going to do on this side? We want something that's more... That I think probably will work. It's not perfect, is it? I do quite like these little bits for the tickets. They work nicely, don't they? But then that's a bit too pink. So I've got a little bit of a dilemma going on here because I don't want it overly done. That side works perfectly. That side works perfectly. So we know we've got these nicely. That I don't like. That's just too busy on there with the pink. So I need to cover this up quite a bit, but I don't want to cover with anything that's going to be overly... Let's have a look and see what I've got in my long strips. So these are my long strips. Let's have a look and see. Could I get around with doing it that dark? Probably. So that's a potential. These I think are going to be too light. I think that that's going to work, and I'm going to have it as just a tuck spot in on here, I think, and we'll have something all the way down here. So let's take this one, and that's got to be just under the 4 inches, hasn't it? Let's get my trimmer out. So that, oh no, it's got to be just under the 6 inches, hasn't it? So let's just take it down a bit. See if that's, I might need it a little bit. Take that page, that to there, that's fine. Okay, in fact, that's probably a little bit thick. I might be able to get 2 out of that and just have a small one. So what size is this? Because then I can have that on another. That's 2.5, isn't it? So 1 and 2.5. Half of 2 is 1. 1 1/4. Let's have a look on here. 1, that's 1, that's 1 1/4 to there. That's going to be fine. Okay, so hopefully they're about the same size. So I'm going to have one down on here like that. That's perfect. And I just need to take this down here. Down on that side. Probably off of camera doing this gluing, but you don't really need to see the gluing part too much. Just make sure that you've just done it round the edge. Then I can put that down. Make sure that I don't take it over. So I'm holding it up so that I make sure that I've not got it. And I might have to take a little bit of this off actually, because I think it is a little bit too big. It is just a tad big on that side, not a huge amount, but just enough that I need to just trim that off. So let's get the scissors. Now, if you're somebody who's very neat and tidy, then journaling and doing it this way probably isn't the best idea. But for me, I need to have all of these pieces out. Sorry, I've just dropped that other strip on the floor, only so I can see what I'm doing. So this is going to come like this, and I'm not that keen on there, but I can put a large piece in, can't I? Now, there was something that was quite large down here that I thought, oh, that'll work quite nicely. Might even be able to take a whole piece like that. I could, couldn't I? But that's a little bit too much, I think. These are the ones I've done to do as my pages, but I could have just something. I want to do some of these card pieces. Let's have a look and see. Aha, this was a big one, wasn't it? I knew that I had a big one somewhere. So why don't I put this big one in like that? That works quite nicely, doesn't it? And then I need a little one in front of it. So let's have a little piece like that, maybe in front will work. And then that can go over like that. So we're on to this side now. Oh, now these are going to be difficult ones because they're very, very bright, aren't they? So let's have a look and see. That in there. That in there will work. I don't want the pink. The pink's way too much for it. So we'll put that in there, that in there. But am I going to have, I could have that coming over there, couldn't I? Right, I'm going to do this slightly differently. So I quite like this, but that's too bright. So, you know, I turned around and said I've got some of these which are journaling sheets. So all I need to do is, I don't need the bottom one because that's going to be tucked in. I just need this side. So all I'm doing is just trimming this up here. Because again, sometimes it's that old adage, less is more sort of thing. So I'm going to take this in like that, and that can go there. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing on this one because I just kind of like that. So that, oh, we've got, that's done that way, isn't it? Oh, that's done that way. All I've got to do is to do this one on here, because that gives you a plain journaling sheet, but it also allows you to then just add some pieces on there. So I'm going to put that in on there like that, that on there. That's going to come across on here. So that needs to come in on here. So we know that's 4 inches. So it just needs to come just under the 4. So 4 inches just under the 4. I'll have it to there. And I need to do another one, don't I? So I've got another one here. So we'll cut that one just under the 4. Quite like that bit of rose on there. Just under the 4 to there. Oh, actually, no, that works. I've just seen what it looks like, and that looks nice as a... We can have those pieces to coordinate in the centre. So I'm just going to take this first of all, and we need to sponge it a bit, because by sponging it, it just distresses it a little bit. So I need to get my, here's the ink again. And you can, if you want it a real distressed look, you can do every single page, you can do stenciling, you can do all sorts of things like that. I'm not overly into things that look a bit over, not over the top, but you know what I mean. I don't like too distressed. I don't mind a little bit like this, because all that does is it just makes the edges not quite so what you call it, not quite so stark. You want them with a little bit of bits going in. So we'll have that there and that there. So that's those two. So we can have that on that way. And then I'm just going to check and see the video and see how long we are, because I might leave it, depending how long we've been, I might leave it like that, and then I'll do the rest and then do a walkthrough or something. That's at a real cockeyed angle, but that doesn't really matter because we're going to have the other bit at the bottom. Because as I say, it will take a couple of hours, I think, to do the whole thing. So if I'm getting towards an hour, I might leave it like that, and then just, because we've got the front cover and things to do as well, let's take that onto there. So we're going to have this coming in like that, and we're going to have this one coming in like that. And then I'm just going to see how many more pages I've got. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got the front and the back cover. Let me look and see. Yeah, I'm approaching an hour on here, so I'm going to leave it like this, and we'll come back and we'll do part 2 where we finish the whole thing off and we do some more to it. So I hope you enjoyed it to this stage. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.